Hi, Sarah, and welcome to the Feel Good Spine podcast. I am so excited to have you here and hear your story all about scoliosis. So, yeah, come and say hi and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey y'all, I'm Sarah. I am 28 years old and I live in the Fraser Valley in Canada, and I am a community support worker. And I'm an education assistant as well, which just means I work with individuals with disabilities. And actually, I came across a student that I was working with who has scoliosis, and I thought that was kind of cool to kind of run into that in my career because I usually that doesn't really come across in my job.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of like trying to like connect with them and just like see like hear their story. And I mean I can't obviously disclose too much, but yeah, it was really cool to like find out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's scoliosis is surprisingly common. I find that you don't really know, no one really talks about the fact that they have it. And then suddenly you find someone else that has scoliosis and you're like, oh my God,
Yeah,
hi.
it's super like it's like not like bizarre, but it's also like what? like
I know.
like I feel like you just like you don't like you wouldn't obviously know unless if you knew, but
No. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. How did that
it's
go?
wild.
Yeah. Did you look at each other's spines? Do you talk about scoliosis with each other? Like,
Well, because I was a student, I couldn't really look at her spine, but I just asked like questions like, oh, like, are you getting a brace, or like just like ways I could support her. Because like she's a teenager, so
yeah.
trying to like find ways to like connect with her, but also like obviously have like that boundary. But
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was a really cool experience.
That's awesome. I think it's especially when you're a teenager, it's actually really, really important to meet other people that have scoliosis and have someone that you can ask questions to. Because I just feel like when I was younger, especially when I was going through the whole thing, I had no one to talk to. No one understood what I was going through. So I think it's awesome that you've managed to find someone else with scoliosis and that you can help them.
Yeah. And
And
like I didn't get diagnosed till I was 21. So I actually got diagnosed like kind of late in the game. But
yeah.
I mean, I guess better late than never. Like
Better late than never. So that kind of brings me on to my next question. Let's hear about your scoliosis journey, your diagnosis, the treatment that was offered to you, all those kind of things.
okay. Yeah, so I like I just said, I got diagnosed when I was 21. I actually went to a chiropractor, and I was just saying I had some back pain and like just like I just thought it was kind of like wear and tear because people were like, oh, you're getting older, like joys of getting old. I'm like, okay, but I feel like there's something else here. And like I think since I was a teenager, I kind of like suspected it. Like I knew what scoliosis was when I was a teenager, but I don't feel like I was really heard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went to the chiropractor, and then yeah, she made me do like the Adams Ben Ford test, and then she's like, yeah, I got like scoliosis, and I kind of felt relieved when she said that because I was like, I just knew, I knew there was something. And then but she told me like, oh, it's nothing like major, like it's just like we'll do some like treatment and like go from there. I'm like, okay. um so that was, yeah, 21. I'm 28 now. I don't go to a chiropractor anymore. And after the chiropractor, I saw a doctor just to get like a x-ray because I didn't know how bad the curve was. I just wanted to know. And so he sent me for the x-ray, and then it came back like borderline severe, which I was like, oh my God, like I actually like panicked. I was like, I was told it was like nothing, and being told it was like borderline severe was a little bit of like a heart stopper for me.
Yeah.
And so the doctor sent me to the Blesson Bluson Clinic at VGH. It's like a spine clinic. And so that was kind of intimidating. They made me fill out this like book, but I think it was more like a survey kind of book to see like just I think there's like students there, I guess. I don't really know. And
Yeah.
so I filled this book. It was like a 50-page book. Like
Oh,
it was a
wow.
huge, yeah, it was a really big book.
Jeez.
Um, and then I saw this, I guess it was a physiotherapist. I thought I was talking to the surgeon because they're like, yeah, I'll get you to talk to the surgeon. And then yeah, no, I talked to some like physiotherapist there. And so I drove an hour out to see this like specialist, and he's like, oh no, like you don't need surgery, like just like keep like an eye on it, but don't do anything like at this moment in time. And I'm like, okay. So I felt a little discouraged because I just felt like I was gonna get somewhere.
Yeah.
um especially like driving out, like, because like I'm about an hour away from Vancouver, so I was like, oh, I just like drove all the way out to see a physiotherapist,
Yeah.
and I could have seen a physiotherapist out this way, but they're also special, like a specialist, so I get it. And then I went to my physiotherapist, and I like, give my X-ray, and we did some like IMS, I guess, and I hate IMS. Like, it's so painful for me. I like just yeah, I don't like it. So I do like manual physio. And then I guess the physio that I see knows someone at the ScoliClinic that I go to. So I kind of got referred that way, even though I don't really need a referral for the ScoliClinic. But it was nice to know that like I knew someone that knew someone. And just kind of went from there. I just do some like yeah, some Stroth exercises. I still see my physio in town just because it's closer. Even though they don't really do scoliosis like stuff because they're not really that like educated in like the Stroth therapy.
Yeah.
Which I feel like they should be. Like I feel like a lot of physios should be trained in that, but you know, it
Yeah.
is what it is. And then I go for massage because I get so tense all the time. I could go for a massage every week if I could, but that gets expensive. And then just like I'm trying to stay active, but even then, like I find sometimes my back, like, my back pain just like it gets really bad. Like I just don't want to like move or anything. But then I know you're not really supposed to just like not move. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to balance. Where it's like, oh, I like keep moving because it helps you, but then don't move because you gotta like keep well on your mental well being.
Yeah.
Takes a
Yeah.
toll.
It definitely does take a toll. Uh, cool. So yeah, so you were diagnosed when you were 21, so that is quite late. Do you know the degree of your curvatures or what kind of curves you have?
So it's an S curve. So the I should have a tattoo on it on my arm. I don't know if the camera can kind of see
Oh,
that.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. You can't really see it, but there's a little bit of a oh.
It's like an
Okay.
S
Well,
for
there's
those.
a tattoo there.
Yeah, for those listening, it's like an S with flowers on it. It's very
Yeah,
cool.
S with green flowers because green's the scoliosis awareness color.
Yeah.
And then it's like a shaded color of my spine. Yeah, so I've S curve. The top, sorry, the um thoracic curve is 37, I want to say 36.
Yeah.
Then my lumbar curve is 44.
Okay.
Yeah. It hasn't progressed recently,
Yeah.
which is
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Scoliosis definitely does progress, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. It really depends on what you're doing. I found that I ignored my scoliosis for years of just being in denial. And honestly, I didn't know any methods. No one ever told me when I was younger that you could do Schroth or all of these other methods, yoga for scoliosis, Pilates, all of these things. It never got mentioned to me. So I just ignored my scoliosis for years and it progressed. And obviously I worked as a yoga teacher for many years, just doing crazy twists and handstands and forward folds and all this stuff. And I find that that actually progressed my scoliosis faster. So that is not what I would recommend.
That's funny that you say that because I dance as well. So
Yeah.
I find it really like as a dancer with scoliosis, I find it's very difficult to even like modify at times. Like
Yeah.
thankfully I'm in an adult dance class, so I obviously dance with other adults with me.
Yeah.
But it's kind of I get kind of discouraged sometimes because I feel like I should be able to do all these like normal things
Yeah.
that others are doing, but like twisting you're not supposed to be doing, like bending
Yeah.
over backwards you're not supposed to be doing, and like there's all this stuff I want to do but I know I can't do it because I'm still pretty flexible. I have a good range of motion, but I know I'm not supposed to do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, thankfully my studio is really accommodating and they like modify for me, and so
Yeah.
like that makes me feel really good.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's good. And it's nice that they modify for you as well. And I find with scoliosis, we do tend to be more flexible. It's a very, very common thing. We're either hypermobile or we're flexible. I was a gymnast when I was younger.
Oh.
I used to dance and obviously a yoga teacher. So I don't know. It's like a common theme for those of us with scoliosis. So we can really get into these positions, but it's not the best,
Not that
especially
you should.
yeah, especially with like twists and back bends, just going really deep into it. Obviously we need some mobility of our spine is very, very important, and we need to be able to twist and move and flex and arch, but going into that full range of motion, that really deep deep twisting, that is what we should avoid, really, because I found that through personal experiences, that is how my curves progressed.
Yeah, and that's, I feel like for me, that's how my back spasms were. Like it just like
Yeah.
flares up.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. When
not
you
fun.
it's definitely not fun. So you didn't go for fusion. Is that because your surgeon, your surgeon, your physio told you that your curves weren't bad enough, I guess? Or how did that?
Um, yeah, so the physiotherapist at the surgeon's office, I guess is the best way to describe it. Yeah, he I think he just said no because based on my age, like it's just a little too late in the game.
Right.
But when I went to my one of my appointments at the ScoliClinic, like they told me like it like I guess it's like a very last resort if it gets like really bad that I can't like, you know, function, then like maybe look into it. But
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm at the point where like there are some days where I'm like, oh, like I should look into surgery, but then I'm like, no, I should like, no, I don't want to look into that. So I've been thinking about it, but right now in my life, I'm just kind of at the point where I'm like, I'm gonna do what I can, keep myself healthy and
Yeah.
flexible and
Yeah.
all that. So yeah, it was just more so like, age wise, like body, because then plus like I'm not growing anymore, so it's probably also why they didn't suggest it.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, it's on the back burner right now. Like I'm not
Yeah.
like considering it.
Yeah. No,
It's
I
just
think
good to know that there's an option.
it's an option, but I think it's really good to, understand that it's a last resort if things get really bad and not just rushing straight to it, because I have heard stories of how traumatic the experience can be. So it's good not to rush straight into it unless you absolutely have to. And it's nice that you have learned about the other options, and that obviously you being in Vancouver, we have the ScoliClinic. That's actually where we met at what was it, myofascial release
Yep, I
thing.
have my ball somewhere here, but yeah, it was the soft tissue workshop.
Yeah,
So great.
it was great. And I used to go to the ScoliClinic a couple of years ago myself, before I got into the scoliosis industry myself. And that actually kind of inspired me to want to help people with scoliosis. So I'm very glad
I
that
love that.
we're lucky that we have that in Vancouver. I'm sure that there are other options in other major cities as well. For those of you listening, if you have a look into it, you might find a scoliosis specific physio place somewhere, hopefully. But if not, always reach out, always happy to help.
Highly recommend.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to my next question. How does your scoliosis affect your life now?
Um, it affects me in many ways. So with my job, because what I do is it's like I support individuals with like physical or like invisible disabilities.
Yeah.
um I've had to like limit myself, so I can't like, I mean, I can lift with like assistance, but I can't lift um over a certain amount of weight. Like
Yeah.
I think 20 pounds is my max that I'm supposed to lift.
Yeah.
And just well, like that's mostly from like for work. And then um in general, like mentally just taking a toll on me. Like there's some days where I'm like in a really dark place and I'm just like not mad at myself for having scoliosis, but I just get kind of depressed. No, I'm not gonna say kind of. I definitely get depressed over it sometimes.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's, I don't want to say that's normal, but I feel like that is kind of normal with the, I guess, invisible. Like, is it considered disability? Like,
I hate to
because that's kind of like
yeah.
it.
I hate to say it. I think it is in some way,
I
although
don't want to open up a can of worms, but like,
yeah, we're definitely not disabled. I mean,
yeah,
it's a tough one, isn't it? So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't like calling it a disability, to be honest.
Yeah, like yeah, because I only asked that because like I've Googled it and I'm just like I was wondering, but like I wasn't really
Yeah.
sure. And I'm on
Yeah.
these like groups and stuff, and like yeah, it's a weird gray area.
Yeah.
But yeah, like yeah, so just like it's kind of difficult in that way, like I have like the mental health aspect of stuff, but
Yeah.
I try not to let it get in my way. Yeah, I dance, so like I have to modify, but I can still do what I love.
Yeah, that's good.
It mostly affects me with work, with the physical aspect. Like I do a lot of like sitting like at a desk or like
Yeah.
And like the school desks are awful. Like, you know, those desks that are like the one piece and it's like at the bar and like the hard plastic chair. Yeah, that's what I gotta sit
God.
in. But like I can adapt to that too. Like I can have like a nice um like office chair if there is one in the classroom.
Yeah.
And then if not, then I can just like I have a cushion that I bring sometimes. But it just really depends what classroom I'm in and when.
Yeah.
But it's mostly, it really just affects me at work, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be that like 20-year-old's like, oh, I have back pain, but like people just like don't get it. They don't get it.
I know. I know. I totally get it. I remember when I was back in England over Christmas time, and I went for a walk with my mum, and I had the worst hip pain. And I'm like complaining about my hip, and my mum is 70, and my mum is like,
Okay.
"Can you stop talking about your hip?" And I'm like, 30, like, my hip. I'm like, "You
It
don't
hurts.
get it."
And that, and like my sciatic too, like not all the time, but my sciatic just like it'll just go down the back of my leg, and it's like it's awful, especially when I'm trying to put weight on it. Like it
Yeah.
hurts so bad.
Yeah.
And then I
Scoliosis
try to
is
mask
hard.
it too because I don't want those comments being made.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's annoying. That is annoying. People making comments when they don't
Mhm.
get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it affects you at work mostly, obviously, with like not being able to pick up heavy things and sitting down for long periods of time, which
Walking stairs. No,
yeah,
about the stairs. I work at a middle school, so there's a lot of stairs that I have to
yeah,
go up. And like I do have an elevator key, so if my back does get sore, I can go on the elevator, but
yeah.
I try not to go up the elevator for reasons, but yeah, there's just days where I'm like I cannot for the life of me like go up the stairs.
Yeah, no, that's fair
But
enough.
it's what it is.
Okay, so how has your scoliosis affected your mental health?
Um well, I think since I've got diagnosed, like I think it's eased my mind. So like I know there are like yeah, so like I've said that it makes me feel depressed at times, but also
Yeah.
like I feel like inspired to like even like do like a podcast, like get like my voice out there, because like oftentimes like if I do advocate, I'm usually like on like I don't know Facebook or something, kind of like typing, and I feel like sometimes when you're looking at words, like they just don't register sometimes, and
Yeah.
like if you're actually like hearing something and be like, oh, like that's real, and I'm like, yes, it is real.
Yeah.
So there's like I get inspiring, frustrating, there's a lot of emotions that go with it.
Hmm.
Like, and sometimes I come home from work at like 8 p.m. I have two jobs, so like I come home at 8
Wow.
p.m. and I'm just like wiped. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. You're a hard
Yeah,
worker.
I'm busy. I'm busy.
Yeah.
There was one point I was working like 50 hours a week, and I had to like actually stop because that was like I couldn't even stand. Like I was getting to the more I was so stiff where I couldn't even function. And so I had to
Yeah.
actually like to cut my hours back, but which sucks.
Yeah. That is
It's so
annoying.
expensive nowadays too. So that's why I'm trying to work so much, but
Yeah, it's so
that also takes a toll. So I'm like, oh, like my scoliosis, I'm trying to work, make some money and have a life, but
yeah.
I gotta take care of myself.
Yeah, damn scoliosis is getting in the way all the time. Would you say that you get, I call it scoliosis anxiety, where you're just kind of thinking about, is it going to progress? Is it going to get worse? What's going to happen when I'm older? Do you ever kind of have any of those kind of thoughts?
Yeah, I literally, yeah, so I think last year I went for my last x-ray, and like they're like I was pretty much told like don't go for more x-rays anytime soon, because I would go like every year because I
Yeah.
wanted to see if it was like progressing or not.
Yeah.
And just like, and like yeah, the anxiety portion, like I think it's more so like yeah, like if it's getting worse, or like my um like what like my like how like my posture and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like I do like obviously like slouch and stuff, and I
Yeah.
mean there's I didn't notice a lot of physical features, but now like I do see it now that I'm aware of it, but
Yeah.
it's more so the being self-conscious, which is kind of unfortunate. But
Yeah.
I just I try to embrace it. I try to be like, hey, this is me, it's my body. Gotta love
Exactly.
my curves inside and out.
I know. Exactly. Do you find that you get like scared about wearing certain types of clothes or anything like that?
Yeah, so like there'd be times where I'd have to, oh, okay, I shouldn't say have to, but I'll go to events where I'll wear like dresses and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't usually wear dresses, but when I do, I like wearing like strapless dresses or like um just like, pretty dresses to like kind of like show off my skin or whatever. But like even like the strapless dresses, like my prom dress, like I could just see from like the side how like forward my shoulders were, and like I will still look at it and be like, oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Like um, but like I still looked great. Like
Yeah.
I looked great in it. But yeah, just like looking at like pictures and it's like
Yeah.
it's not a good feeling to have. But I
It's
mean, I can't really do much about it.
exactly. So this is the thing. I think, yeah, we beat ourselves up a lot because we always want to look, like someone who has a straight spine. Like imagine how nice that would
I will look
be.
at people with straight spines and be like, so that's what it looks like with a normal back.
I know. I'm like low key very jealous.
Yeah.
But we kind of beat ourselves up and we're scared to wear things like certain things. I've seen pictures of myself where I'm like, whoa, like my rib hump is out, my posture looks terrible. But really, no one else is really noticing that stuff. And if they
Like that
are,
rib
like
bump is bumping. Like
it is bumping out. But I've just kind of got to this point now where I'm like, do you know what? I don't care. I don't
I'm
care.
proud of it. I'm proud of my rib bump.
Exactly. And I'm like, well, I want to show people with scoliosis that it's okay to
Embrace it. Embrace it.
embrace it instead of like I've spent years of hiding it and being embarrassed and being ashamed. And I'm just like, this is just not the way to live life. And if I want to wear a cute backless dress,
Wear it.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Wear that. Wear whatever you want.
Exactly. So
Don't let people tell you otherwise.
yeah, I did wear a backless dress for my mum's birthday back in December, and there were videos of me like running up to my mum, and the video was like taken from the back, and I can like see my spine, and I'm looking at it like, oh my god, oh my god. But I'm just thinking, I'm like, no one else is noticing this, and especially if
Yeah.
I work with scoliosis, so I can just spot it from a mile away, and I'm like, oh my god, my scoliosis, my hump, it's like everything.
I
It
think
looks
that's the
awful.
thing too. Like if you see pictures, you're just like, oh, but like I don't think anyone's really looking except for us.
No, everyone said
And
it
even
looked
if they did look, they'd be like, huh. Like I don't think they'd be like, ugh. Like I think they'd be like,
yeah, exactly.
curious. Yeah,
Yeah, curious. And it is a talking point.
exactly. It's a good conversation starter.
It definitely is. Especially when you meet someone else with scoliosis, because then you're like
Yes.
instantly like, oh cool. Like scoliosis friends. I love it.
It was actually it's not like it's on the same like topic, but I actually just ordered a Higgy Bear. Have you heard of those?
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
know.
I just ordered one. I was like, I don't really need this, but I
Yeah.
do.
Out there, honestly, they're so cute. I've seen them as well on Instagram. If you're listening, Higgy Bears, I think it's called. They're really
Yeah.
cute little bears that have scoliosis and braces, and I will get one as well eventually. I was literally looking at one yesterday, like, oh, that's so
I'm so
cute.
excited. Like I just got a notification that I got the tracking number, so it's like it's on the way. I'm so excited.
I know, and that scoliosis Barbie doll. Have you seen
Oh
that?
yeah, okay. I definitely do want that as well. Not that I would like play with it, but just
No.
kind of like it would probably sit with my. I ordered a monkey, so it's gonna be a cute little monkey.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's such a good idea, especially for the kids and the teenagers, to let them know that scoliosis is okay. It is okay. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. You're not broken. You don't have a disease. It's just
Mhm.
something really common that unfortunately happens to us, and
Yeah.
we can live very good lives and happy lives,
Normal lives.
normal lives with it, whether you have scoliosis or fusion. Like it's all gonna be okay. Everything is gonna be fine. And that's the message I'm trying to get across, because I know it can be very gloom and doom sometimes, and I've been down that rabbit hole myself where I've just been depressed and anxious, and really it's not going to get me anywhere. And I can choose to be depressed or anxious, or I can take matters into my own hands and start talking about scoliosis all over the internet.
Yeah, we love a good scoliosis influencer. We need more of those.
Exactly. So I chose that route.
Applause to you.
Oh gosh, oh, life is funny. Okay, so how would you say that you help yourself and your scoliosis both physically and mentally?
So physically, so do my Schroth. But I will admit I'm not very good at keeping on top of myself and holding myself accountable. I've tried.
Yeah.
Um like I have a area downstairs which I haven't really been to in a while, but like I'll get there. Um
Naughty.
yeah, I know. And it's funny because all my stuff's in a corner, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But I laminated my like exercises and I've like pinned them to the wall. And so like I have a
Oh, that's
little like
awesome.
Scully corner.
Love that.
Yeah. And so yeah, I gotta go back down there eventually. But then I have a my bar hanging from my doorway.
Yeah.
So like my door's closed, but like when I open it, it can like see it. But
Yep.
I'm just taking a pause on that on the bar right now because I've learned I have unstable shoulders.
Yes. Yeah.
So that hasn't been fun. It's been a bit like painful when I do the hanging. So I'm pausing that for now, but it's there when I'm going
Yeah.
back to it. I'm going for walks. Like when I go to the gym, I like when I warm up, I do like a 10-minute walk, but I've been doing like a light jog because like I'm not really a runner, but I'm trying to like, keep up with the cardio, but also like put a little bit of a variety in there because like I get really bored of the gym. Like I don't know if anyone else gets bored when they work out, but when I go to the gym, I get like I gotta blast my music and just like go for it because I get like I gotta do something else. Like I gotta do like this thing first, then I gotta go here, and then I'm like on board of that. We're gonna go here. So it's kind of hard to keep myself like busy.
Yeah.
And then mentally, it just like I do like photography and like that kind of keeps me like occupied and creative. And then I play guitar as well, so just like it's like things that are therapeutic.
Yeah.
And then I have my cat, but my cat's not very therapeutic. He's therapeutic when he wants to be,
Yeah.
but otherwise he's like leave me alone.
That's such a typical cat.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that though.
And then I have I just like I have a friend who has like 2 dogs, so I'll be like, can I come see your dogs? And she'll be like, sure. So I just like go to her house and hang out with her dogs and just like
Yeah.
get like some like animal therapy. But just I don't know, whatever makes me happy, that's what I'll do.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's awesome that you're still doing what makes you happy. I think that's very, very important. And doing your, your dancing and your activities and staying fit and healthy and, trying to go to the gym or whatever, or just doing whatever kind of activities make you happy. I think
Oh,
we'll
and Zumba. I just became a Zumba instructor, so
Oh,
I haven't been teaching yet, but I'm in the middle of been choreographing routines
yeah,
and stuff. So I'll be doing that eventually too.
that's so fun.
It'll keep me happy, it'll keep me fit, like
Yeah,
killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I love Zumba. Are you teaching around Vancouver or
I'll probably like I could probably do like online stuff for like people in Vancouver because I'm a little far out, but
yeah.
I have a friend, like a teacher friend of mine who teaches in Burnaby, so I feel like if I ever sub for her, the closest that would be Burnaby. But yeah, I'm just like I'm not at the point yet to teach a class yet. Like I still got a whole lot of learning to do, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really stoked for that.
Yay, that's awesome.
I'll remember to modify. I gotta modify from my spine.
Exactly. You do have to modify for your spine, but I think it's awesome that we have scoliosis Zumba teachers in the world.
Yeah. I'm hoping to go for get trained for Zumba Gold because Zumba Gold's more for like low intensity exercises. So I feel like that'd be really good for me to do. But we'll see where my Zumba journey goes. But yeah, so it'll help me definitely keep myself accountable to keep my body moving.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Cool. Wow, I had another question I was gonna ask you.
I got you sidetracked to the Zumba.
I know. I'm thinking, I was like, oh my God, I haven't done Zumba in so long. I'm thinking, oh, that sounds fun. Oh gosh.
My apologies.
No, it's okay. I guess what I want to ask you as well is if you have any tips for anyone out there, anyone listening who, who's just been diagnosed with scoliosis or is struggling with their mental or physical health, kind of what would your tips be for them?
My first tip is don't panic because it'll be okay. Because that's what I did was I panicked. So don't panic. Try and see what resources are out there. Like I'm on like a support group on Facebook, so there's some stuff out there. Just definitely advocate for yourself. I've found advocating gets you places. I know it can be, as a support worker, I know how hard advocating can be, but advocate. talk to your like get like support from your like family and friends, whoever you're close with. It's good to like talk about it if you're comfortable talking about it, of course. I know some people might not be comfortable talking about it. Um, just yeah, just more so I feel like there needs to be more resources in the area, in
Yeah.
my humble opinion. But yeah, just
I was going to say we're
do
working
some
on it.
research. Yeah, do some research and um don't like I'm not saying put yourself out there, but like try and like connect with other people and see what they have to say as well. Because I feel
Yeah.
like talking to different like other people, you can get some other experiences and um suggestions too.
Yeah, 100%. I think reaching out to other people going through the same thing, whether it's scoliosis or fusion, or surgery, bracing, anything is really, really important because you want to hear lots of different opinions and thoughts before making any kind of big decisions. And just for that mental health and creating those relationships with people that understand, because I feel like if you don't have scoliosis, you just don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't judge us. I that's the one pet peeve I have is just like people who just they don't understand and they just like they make comments like
Yeah.
it's not nice. Like keep your
Yeah.
comments to yourself. If you have questions, please ask.
Yeah.
I think we'd rather rather have you ask us questions and just kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
make unnecessary comments.
I feel like I just remembered one thing that I was going to ask you is actually about your scoliosis exercises and your
Mm.
experience at the ScoliClinic. I
Okay.
was wondering like how often you went to the ScoliClinic and how many exercises you have and if you have like a scoliosis routine, I like to call it.
Yeah, so I still go to the Scully Clinic. Um when I first went, I would go I want to say every couple weeks, I think.
Mm,
Just because they're trying to like monitor it. But I with my schedule and like where I live, I just kind of go when I can.
yeah.
Um which is fine. Like I have like a binder full of exercises that I can do.
Yeah.
I actually don't even know how many I have. I want to say like 10, maybe over 10. I don't know. I'm gonna say 10. I'm gonna have a safe number of 10.
Yeah.
And I don't really have a routine. I should get into one.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I'm on the go all the time. And
Yeah.
like, but I feel like it'd be a good habit to have. Obviously.
Yeah.
Especially because I don't want my curve to like progress. So yeah, I don't have a routine, but I go to the school clinic when I can. When
Yeah.
I'm like I probably will go more in the summer just because school's out in the summer, so I'll have more time and
Yeah.
energy to go.
Yeah, like when you go, do you just do, I mean, I know because I've been there before, but just for listeners, what do you do when you're at the Scoli Clinic?
Oh yeah. So when I go to the school clinic, I come like check in. And then when my physio pulls me in, we go in there and we kind of like debrief and like catch up and see how things are. Like how much like if I'm having or if any pain or if I'm having any pain. Um just any like anything that's happening in my life, I guess. Cause like I don't know if mentally that'll like I guess being like help me out, I guess. I don't know. Like I think I'm more like okay, so for me, like if I'm having a lot going on, I just won't like do
Yeah.
anything. Like
Yeah.
right now I haven't really been doing much because there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And so like yeah, just like a catch up and then we'll start off with a like elongation exercise. So like I'll usually go on like the ladder and I'll do a hanging for about uh a round of I think 30 seconds. Like there's I do or sorry, not 30 seconds. I try to go for as long as I can,
Yeah. Yeah.
preferably. And for me, that's not very long because of my shoulder issues.
Yeah.
And then after that, we will focus on some exercises that I've like learned previously. So I've done some like bird dog and
Yeah.
um I think I've done a fire hydrant one, just like and then trying to see where like my body's shifting because I usually little shift to the left.
Yeah.
And they're like you're shifting. So I'm trying to I have to like mentally tell myself to like um like even myself out, like keep
Yeah.
all my weight like neutral, because I'll literally lean to the left and I won't know it. And
Yeah.
then they'll be like, well, like more, and I'm like, oh. And
Yeah.
it's hard. Like
It is
I didn't
hard.
realize how hard it would be, but it's like it's challenging, and like not in a bad way, but it's like, oh, this is a lot of work.
It really is. I honestly, I say, because when I work with my clients online, just holding your scoliosis corrections is a workout.
Oh,
It
and adding and breathing too. Like
Oh my
sometimes
God.
I tend to hold in my breath.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Don't do that. Yeah, so then let's do like breathe in my valleys and my um sorry, I'm forgetting the valleys and the
Mountains?
mountains. Yeah, so breathe
Yeah.
in those, and I was like that I could do, because I know like I know where to like breathe in from, but like doing it and like trying to focus is it's a
Yeah.
lot for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gets easier as like you go and keep going to the clinic. But
Yeah.
yeah, just like if you go, just be prepared to like really like invest in your time.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a big time investment, money investment,
Oh
energy
yeah.
investment, but I think it's all worth it.
Mhm.
Honestly, I find the value in learning these Schroth exercises is really, really beneficial for our scoliosis. And the first time I ever did any Schroth work just blew my mind, just teaching me how to stand up straight, telling me what directions my curves were going in, and why my head is tilting to the side and all this stuff. So it really helped me to hold myself better throughout the day. And I really feel like that contributes a lot to obviously slowing down the progression of our curvatures, but also reducing the pain. Like, if
Mhm.
I don't do my scoliosis exercises, like when I went home to England over Christmas, I was back in England for a month. I didn't do anything when I was there. I came back to Vancouver in so
You
much
felt
pain.
it.
Yeah,
You felt it.
I did. I was like, oh my God, exercises, scoliosis exercises make a huge difference to how your spine is feeling. Like, duh, obviously.
Yeah, well, and then like I know I haven't been doing mine like every day like I should be, but
Yeah.
I had a reassessment, I guess, and there's actually been some really noticeable differences, which is like really good to know, because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, like I haven't been on top of the game, but
Yeah.
yeah, things are looking good. So
Yeah.
that's like good to know about and
Yeah.
keeping me accountable.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay. So kind of coming up to the end, do you have any last things you would like to say or share with my listeners?
Well, I was super stoked to do this podcast.
Yeah.
um, just yeah, just try and like if you suspect anything, if like when I before I got like diagnosed, like I kind of like felt up my back and I was like, this is weird. Like, and I just like if you suspect something,
Yeah.
go get it checked out.
Yeah.
Um, that was definitely obviously like do it.
Yeah.
Um, and if you have any like concerns or anything, go see the doctor or your specialist, and just like keep trucking along. I know it's difficult. But yeah, you'll be okay. And there's a lot of people out there like that are like you. And it things will look good for you in the future.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's great advice. I think it doesn't have to be all gloom and doom. Things can be okay. And I think looking after our spines and our health and our mental health is extremely, extremely important after our scoliosis diagnosis. Oh my God, diagnosis.
That's a good word.
Diagnosis. I know. Oh my God. Um, yeah. So yeah, for all you listeners out there, stay strong. You got this. And yeah, we're all part of this big scoliosis family. You're not alone in your journey. There are so many of us, like me and like Sarah, who have scoliosis, but we're just doing our best. We're getting through it. We're doing our
We love
exercise.
our curves.
Yeah, we love our curves. We're gonna wear our backless dresses and our
Yep.
strapless dresses and whatever we want to wear, because
Yep.
do you know what, let's make scoliosis cool, and let's make scoliosis okay.
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you so much, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for asking me.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay, goodbye.